Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Men and Business Zoom Master Webinar sessions. My name is Joel Pickstock, Client Services Liaison here at the SBDC Bahamas, and I am delighted to welcome each and every one of you men entrepreneurs that are thriving in this today's society. And so today we have a very special guest that is joining us this evening. His name is Mr. Kendrick Delaney from the New Duff. And if anybody knows the New Duff, very well know savory and deliciousness is the order of their day. And so I ask all of you tonight to get your notebooks, get your pens, get yourself prepared to hear from this dynamic individual who has successfully operated his business from the ground up. You all could learn something from this today. So, Mr. Kendrick Delaney, we're going to let you do you, and he's going to introduce himself to you guys. So, let's welcome Mr. Kevin Delaney from the New Duff.
Good evening, everyone. Hoping you can hear me. I'm going to put up my presentation this week, so we should be able to definitely walk through walk through this presentation together. Whilst I'm loading that, though, since this meeting is about digital marketing, I want to help everybody get another 126 followers today. All right. To do that, what I need for you to do is go to your Instagram, your TikTok, or your Facebook profile and copy that link into the chat. And as a benefit to all of us, can we all just take the time to click on a few of these links throughout the presentation so that we're making sure that we're following any of our participants on the call today with on their social media. So now we're all increasing our followers all together. I'll go first so that everybody else can follow. Here's one of my posts here. And let's get everybody posting the link to their page so we can get 142 new followers today on this call. See a lot of links coming through. Perfect, perfect. Keep them coming. And what I'll try to do, if I can ask the SBDC host too, if you can copy and paste all of these for us at the end of this, maybe we can all get access to them to be able to share them and look at them a little later on. All right, guys. Again, I want to also welcome you for taking the time out of your evenings. I know as an entrepreneur, having a million things to do and being able to show up here tonight takes a lot of determination and discipline. And I'm hoping to make this the best fit, the most valuable course that you've had. Many of you might have seen me on the branding workshop, which is my specialty, my expertise, my passion. But today I'm going to walk you through how you translate that brand into digital marketing and analytics, okay? Everybody can see my screen, I'm hoping, so I'm just going to jump straight in. First, let me formally introduce myself. Last week, I didn't get a chance to do that. My name is Kendrick Delaney Jr. I am the owner of the New Duff. I also was the head of digital architecture for Alive for the past 4 years. Up until 2022. I am the founder of Tinfurl along with Brandon Kemp and Puppy Robinson. And I'm an author. I wrote a kid's book called Ferry's Tale. You can try that out, ferrystale.com, ferry as in the boat. It's about the swimming pigs. And now I'm spending a lot of my time helping entrepreneurs like you guys as a consultant for your brand and helping you elevate that to a world-class status. Today, we're going to talk about digital marketing and analytics. As an entrepreneur myself, I have a huge confession for you all, and I really need to get this off my chest. This is a big one, so I'm just going to say it up front. I rarely take the time to sit and develop a digital marketing strategy. It's just one of those headaches that personally myself, I've seen this in other big companies like Fusion, Alive, even the Sand Dollar. All of us are needing to be in the digital market, but you know, having a winning strategy takes money, it takes effort, it takes expertise. There's a lot going on to make sure your marketing hits the mark. Why is it such a complex task? It's really because it takes expertise as well as the time to put together a plan, as well as to test and retest and look at analytics to figure out what is working best for you. It is a complex beast to tackle if you're not an expert. Plus, I'm sure all of you have a million fires to solve on your everyday business. And coming up with a fully integrated budget and mapped out digital strategy just is not on top of the list. So today, what I can promise you is this. I want you to embrace my strategy. Anybody out there are big fans of Stephen Covey's work, particularly the not urgent task list, matrix, sorry. This is kind of how I approach my business world. So if it's not something that I know is achievable, I tend to move to only the things that I can actually embrace and do very, very well. So that means instead of doing 10 things sloppy, I focus on doing 3 things really well. And I can promise you, when it comes to digital marketing, this is what you will really need to focus on. What are the things that you can prioritize and do extremely well? Before we begin though, let's head over to this. Let's look over the agenda today. So the first thing I wanted to walk through is what you really need to know about digital marketing strategies to make money. Everything boils down to earning income, right? If you don't have a positive cash flow company or tangible earnings, everything else seems like it's pointless. So either to make your first dollar or to grow your revenue, that's what we're going to do first. The second thing is we're going to talk about the key numbers to stop wasting time and always hit the nail on the head when it comes to your digital strategy. What that looks like is, again, instead of doing everything, instead of doing TikToks, Google Ads, TripAdvisor, all of these different things that are in the market, we're going to focus your efforts, and everybody's digital strategy is going to be different based on their business plan on what you need to do next. Lastly is using the digital tools to hook and keep your customers to boost your business. You need to hook them, you need to keep them interested in your business, and you need to be able to attract new customers. Like I said, anybody here, let's just see by a show of hands, anybody on the call is a big fan of WhatsApp University? I call it WhatsApp University because all the information is being shared on WhatsApp. People, you know, take it to be truth. And a lot of it is, of course, but you know, social media is the same way. So let's head on over to the University of Instagram for a quick refresher on what are the different types of general marketing.
What is marketing? If a circus is coming to town and you put up a sign, that's advertising. If you put the sign on the back of an elephant and walk it into town, that's promotion. And if the elephant walks through the mayor's flower bed and the local newspaper writes a story about it, that's publicity. And of course, if you get the mayor to laugh about it, that's public relations. But if you tell them about the various entertainment booths you'll have, the fun they're going to have, answer their questions, that's sales. And if you planned the entire thing, that's marketing.
Awesome. I really like this video because it simplifies the whole picture of the different types of marketing channels that are available to us. More traditional ones, of course, they talked about publicity, sales, and so on. But the great thing about digital marketing is you can do almost all of that for free. You know, the internet is so broad. People have access to Spotify, all sorts of different channels, YouTube, where they're literally being interrupted and have the opportunity to learn about your business. So all of these types of things we can do online, and we're going to get to some questions in a few minutes. So let's look specifically at digital marketing. It's using online channels like social media. Of course, you guys know most of them. I won't go through them. Email, blasts, websites to promote your business and connect with consumers. Many years ago, you know, maybe in the early 2000s, a web page was really from the businesses downward. It was just basically to be read and consumed text. Now, Internet 2.0, Internet 3.0 is a very different beast. It's user-generated content. It could be whatever you want to put out in the marketplace, and you could interact with people in so many very different ways. There's apps, there is social media, of course, there's Google AdSense. You could put video interrupters on YouTube. You can have a YouTube blog. There's so many ways to actually market your business. We're going to focus on just a few of those today. So first, we're going to talk about social media. The next, it's websites, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Google AdSense, email blast, and a bit about content creation. What I really want us to focus on today, though, is how all of these tools work together. So at the beginning of this session, I talked about a little bit about how to decide upon your digital marketing strategy. Now, this document, this slide might be a bit convoluted, so I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can, but this is the simplest way I could think of to explain all of the many opportunities you have when it comes to marketing your business. So, for example, on the left, sorry, I think this is the y-axis, we have slow to fast or organic content to viral content. Organic content is that is usually you post frequently. It's like your more common types of social media post. It's things like updating your business on Google or dropping a pin for your business on Google Maps. It's like creating a TripAdvisor page. These are organic things that aren't going to get out there very swiftly, but it could be managed or handled entirely in-house, almost entirely in-house. So if you look at the bottom of the screen, that talks about being able to control, having little control that goes out to a lot of control, full control that goes out. Now, these blue tags are just some types of the channels or the actions that you can take when it comes to digital marketing. They are not exhaustive, and they actually could move around this chart depending on how you manage this. So for example, you see where this yellow line is. Anything above this is things that you can typically pay for to get done. So it would be akin to what in the olden days would be advertising or press release and so on. So for example, if you hire a content producer to create related posts for you, tag your business, reshare it, photos, or if you hire a digital marketing agency to create videos for you, these are some of the what we would call in the old days above the line type of marketing. This is in the digital space though. If you look at the video on the right, for example, here is a local photographer who, for my kids' books, Fairy's Tale, he created this reel for me where he went shopping for his nephew. He's a very popular Instagram person. My book was new to the market, and I needed to get a lot of followers very quickly. So when I was posting on my own, I got, I would say, maybe 100 to 200 views at the beginning. At the same time, I paid for this influencer video, and a lot of you know friends who can actually help reshare, or you could put them in content, you could put them on your website, have them do video or reviews and things. And in one video, I was able to get almost 19,000 views to help jumpstart my Instagram page for my book. Let's talk about negative feedback, for example. The reason why I put this as viral, although it's not paid for, a lot of times, most of you might know this, I lived in Singapore for quite a bit of my career. And that's kind of where I got the inspiration for the new duck, which is in the shape of a Chinese bao bun. Same old-fashioned recipe, just a different shape. And one of the most popular sayings that I learned there is that when you have good news, you could barely sweep it out the front door, but when you have bad news, it's already in the next village. And so that is the same thing in the digital space, right? Whether you're on Google with terrible reviews, whether you have customers posting their own user-generated content or tagging your business about poor service or poor quality of products, these are very little to almost no control for you, and it could be very fast outside of the business. 1 second. It could get very quickly out of your business, and you want to make sure you're managing that. At the center of all of this matrix is your customers. I would say to you guys that a brand is so critical to a business because a brand speaks directly to your customer base. It is kind of pointless to be trying to appeal to tons of customers because having no point of view on the internet doesn't make you something worth following. And that is true for a lot of businesses. I said this on the last call and I'll say it again. If you're good at everything, it probably means you're good at nothing. So focus on your brand speaking directly to your customer base as you start to develop your own digital marketing strategy. Email campaigns, for example, I feel is a bit outdated, but it's really an important way to keep customers educated, especially if you are a business that focuses a lot on heavy customer interaction. New products, you want them to sign up for things, you want to keep those kind of email communications going and active as they go. We'll talk more about this, but before we move further, I wanted to ask a question. So I'm going to invite 2 persons from the chat today to take their mics off and talk about their digital marketing. Tell us the name of your business and your digital marketing strategies. You might have heard some of them just now. We will go through them in more detail in a few minutes, but tell us what you think. If you got 2 volunteers out there, talk to us a little bit about your digital marketing strategy. So I'm gonna wait to hear from you guys. Any volunteers? Just turn your mics on.
We have 4 persons, 4 persons that raised their hands. Dean Strawn, Kyle Hinsey, Brenda Sims, Tillian. Which one do you want to go with first? Okay, Ms. Strawn, we're gonna allow you to talk, so you can go ahead and present. Ms. Strawn, if you're there, you can go ahead and present. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to so.
If anybody is speaking, I can't hear you. So you need to turn your mic on just to give us a little bit of information about your marketing strategies.
All right, Mr. Strawn. So we're gonna have to move forward with somebody else. So the next person that raised their hand was Kyle Hinsey. So Mr. Hinsey, you are now able to speak and you can go ahead.
Good evening. Could you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So one of my marketing strategies I use, I call it win you over. So there's 3 main aspects. It's ads, paid ads, organic ads, and influencers. So I use influencers throughout all of my marketing. One of my biggest influencers are Daria. She's very famous on TikTok, and I use well, let me tell you a little bit about my business. I sell jewelry, so I run a product-based business. So I use an influencer to grab the crowd and get everybody riled up and happy about the product and get things talking. And then I use my own marketing because I do photography and videography as well. So I would post videos that would be with models as well. And then I use ads to push it because the algorithm goes by how you could talk about something on your phone and then the next day you see it all over your phone on Instagram, Facebook. So I use the influencer to grab people and get people talking. And then I use the Google Ads algorithm to put the product in their face. And then I would use things like flyers and photography just to present it in a way that they would fall in love. So that would be one of my main marketing strategies. But Facebook ads, Meta ads, Instagram ads, Google ads work very fine. I just use the influencers to grab the attention and then everything flows from there. So that's one of my biggest and main marketing strategies. I start off with the influencers, then the Google ads, and then I just do my thing with flyers and videos and photography.
Can I ask you a quick question? You had a good point there. When you talked about using Google Ads, Meta Ads, which one of the platforms when you spend you're getting the most return on investment for? Would you in your notice? What you've noticed?
Well, it's mostly Meta ads. That would be Facebook and Instagram. I get most of my clients are based on Instagram and Facebook. That's most where I get most of my clients from. So I spend most of my money on Meta ads. If I were to give an estimate, I spend about $1,000 a month on Meta ads, just to get my products out there and in the face of the public.
Well, yeah, that's a good investment in digital marketing. So just so in the interest of time, it's now 7 about. So I really want to say thank you for that. And please post your business again so we can all go and follow you if you haven't yet done that. Let's jump into some of the other let's take a deeper dive into these different marketing opportunities. Okay, so first we're going to talk about social media. I think I talk about social media mostly because it's one of the most popular ones. One second. Social media is the most popular use, and the reason why I'm the biggest fan of social media marketing in a digital marketing space is it's almost entirely free. All right. So this is one of the reasons why I would recommend building your business on social media. True story. The New Duff started in 2018, and I made a commitment to myself that every day I would post one photo or one video on my Instagram page. I made my first $20 on Instagram for my whole business. And in the end, by the end of my first year of using Instagram, I had earned $78,000 selling Duff to customers online through Facebook and Instagram. So putting your brand out there, keeping it consistent is number one. All right. I always tell people, forget about being perfect at the beginning. Just focus on your brand. What's your story? What are you trying to get people to remember about you? For example, you heard me talk about in the previous course, create a brand guide. A brand guide helps you have logos, colors, fonts, and keywords. For example, with the New Duff, its keywords are indulgence, it's family, it's nostalgia, it's innovation. So every time I post those things, I ensure that those elements are in my content. I would encourage you guys to start here when it comes to social media marketing. Think about what your brand is. Don't be all willy-nilly and throwing it out there. But it is okay to just post daily and see what sticks. So begin with the right platforms. If you are a law firm, first of all, I don't think there's any business that cannot benefit from social media marketing, but if you're a law firm, you probably don't need to be on TikTok unless you are being a bit irreverent with your legal advice or what's the word? Spontaneous or shocking when it comes to what you're telling people about on TikTok. But find the right platform for you. There's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, there's X, there's a ton of different platforms out there that you can use that make the best sense for your business. Second, keep on posting organic content. Ask your customers for content. Ask your friends to post something about you. Share it on their timeline. It might seem to some of you who are familiar with the New Duff page that we get a lot of organic comments and feedback, but that's all intentional sharing with all of our followers, our friends, all the time, every time we post, because as you know, the algorithms work when one like is equal to 10 more views, one comment is equal to 100 more views, and then it kind of snowballs from there, okay? So post often, post consistently, ask your customers for reviews, and engage with your customers. That means text them back, message them, thank them for their content, let them know you're thinking about them and appreciate the work that they're doing to help you build your brand. All of these things are really critical to starting a social media campaign, page. Number two, monitor your analytics for trends. So analytics is something that is, we're not going to talk about it as one specific thing. I want you guys to note this. You could write it down. Analytics will make or break your digital marketing strategy. If you're not aware of what's working and what's not, you're really now spending a lot of time. And I'm going to come to that a little later in the presentation. But monitor your analytics for trends. Follow your competitors. Look for big brands. So if you are, and I'm just going to be a bit less vehement for the moment, but let's say you are a beverage brand, why aren't you following the big US and international brands in the beverage space to see what they're doing? I said this before on the brand and marketing creation bit with the logos, but they pay millions of dollars to consultants, to analysts, to data scientists to help them figure out what their content should be about. And you can help by following those that you believe are doing good in that space. Think globally. Don't think about just the Bahamas. You know, the Bahamas is a small marketplace. It is, if you could succeed in the Bahamas, you certainly can succeed elsewhere because you've already proven that with very little population, you can have mass appeal. So I also like to tell people, think about bigger marketplaces. Nowadays, you don't have to really do business in the Bahamas if your product or service can somehow be translated online or exported. A good example of this is I met a guy whose passion was yoga and horoscopes. During the pandemic, his yoga studio was closed, shut down. So what he did was he came up with free online live talks about how your horoscope and fitness can work together. And he would have specific workshops for people, if you're a Scorpio, if you're a Pisces, if you're a Libra. Eventually, he now had people all over the world booking his classes, some very big names in it globally. I can't really give more information than that, but the Bahamas is not the only marketplace for your business. So think globally. Identify what it is, a winning strategy for you through your analytics. And I always say there's 4 E's to the experience economy. These 3 here are very important. Well, all 4 of them are, which is educate your customers in your content, entertain them in your content, help them escape from there into your world through your content. And the last one, which is not truly an E, it's aesthetics. Make sure it looks like you. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, get familiar with Meta and TikTok business tools. One of the lifesavers that you're going to find as a digital marketer is you have to schedule your posts. You can't do it on the fly. You're going to have a ton of fires coming in your business on a daily basis. Schedule that stuff. Look at the analytics. Meta, for example, shows you your top competitors or people who are in the similar industries. And invest in those type of tools because they are going to transform the way that you do digital marketing, the way that you actually produce. find partners, like the New Duff partners with tons of businesses. I don't know if many of you have seen recently, for example, the New Duff has launched with Bamboo Shack. Now you can get a cup of Duff with your product, with your meal at Bamboo Shack. Very similar to how you can get an apple pie at McDonald's or the new Cinnabons at Wendy's. We found rather than us going to, David slinging Goliath at first, why don't we go with a local partner who's a Goliath and can see and invest in a business like ours, and have so much success through digital marketing. I have to tell you guys that one reel that we've done with Bamboo Shack in the last 2 weeks has had more impact for both of our brands than any of us had anticipated. So, knock on doors. Sometimes people are going to be willing to work with you. Sometimes they're not. But my philosophy is, the answer is always no unless you try. Boost your superstar content. So the guy who spoke just before this, he talked about $1,000 budget for Meta. I don't want to make everybody feel like that's a reasonable amount of money. Like, it all depends on your business. The New Duff spends about $100 a month on boosting its content. So we don't spend a tremendous amount. But you decide based on your business. And to be honest with you, we're going to talk about content marketing in a few minutes, but it really depends on you. So let's jump now to some other tools that you can use. So search engine optimization. This is something that a lot of people don't understand. It's so critical in today's age. Remember back in the day, for example, the Bahamas is a tourism destination. Back in the day, people used to use Lonely Planet, TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor is still around, I guess. They would buy books about the country they're going to and a Michelin star guide and all these things about restaurants. Search engine optimization, particularly getting a better position on that first page of search engines. We don't think a lot about other search engines like Yahoo or Bing, for example. Google is truly the place to be. You want your business to be on page number 1, and to be honest with you, you want it to be the first thing that people see. So it is crucial to remember that the growth of this strategy is a powerful tool to get your page recognized and at the top of those pages. You can build your content to match Google's algorithms, but all it takes is a change in that algorithm to disrupt your traffic. That means if Google decides to change or tweak, you could be hurt from that and you could lose customers overnight. For the New Duff, our store on West Bay Street is strategically focused on the visitor experience. If you come into our store, it's a fully observation kitchen. We are making sure that Duff is known globally, and so we want to expose that whole process to our visitors. One of my favorite things is, I really enjoy the Rum Cake Factory experience, and I wanted to make sure that persons who come to the Bahamas also learned through the New Duff that Guava Duff, this historical product that has evolved for the last 3-4 centuries and been passed down by many of the matriarchs in our society, is a torch that I carry forward. And so the basics of this is really important to understand. And what I would say, if you're not in this industry of tech or digital marketing, pay it or outsource it to somebody else. Barter with somebody who's on this call, maybe who is doing this as well. You want to also think about email marketing, right? This one, as I mentioned to me, it's a bit archaic, but it works for certain businesses. Craft a compelling story. I tell people, use your email marketing as a tool to connect with the customers who are already in love with you. Don't bombard people who aren't interested in your product and services. So start collecting emails. When you hear somebody say, hey, I wish I had known about this, say, hey, join our mailing list. On your website, you can have a pop-up that helps people to learn about your product and services. I'll give you guys a good example of this. Every day, the New Duff gets about 10 emails saying, hey, do you guys ship Duff overseas? Do you ship Duff overseas? Every one of those customers, I add them to our email marketing list because I know that's a great way to rope them into our brand, and they could learn so much more about our activities. Personalization is important here, so you can have different customer segments. You can have tourists. You can put people in categories. For example, if you use MailChimp, and MailChimp is it's actually a free tool if you have less than, I think, 1,200 emails to start with. It's a big beast again too. I don't want to, we talked about that matrix about what to do, and actually the next slide is really good at showing what I call finding your digital marketing G-spot. All right. That G might sound a little weird, but it's really about what type of content or digital marketing that you should green light. Okay, let's look at the first bubble here, the blue one. That's all of the potential channels that are out there. There's so many marketing channels out there, right? You can do email marketing, as we just talked about. You could do LinkedIn, you could do Google AdSense, you could do YouTube, you could do vlogs, you could do so much things. So that's a big headache. I'm imagining as you sit on this call, it's like, wow, what should I really be doing? So now you need to carve that down to what is actually reasonable. What can you truly execute well? And remember, we talked about, let's, instead of doing 10 things sloppy, let's do 3 things extremely well. Think about your product and service, and we're going to go to questions in a second. I want you guys think about your product and service, and let me know what you think is reasonable for you to execute. Once you figure out those reasonable things, I say, as you see over here, start testing it out. Okay, that's your first phase. Then prioritize the ones that your analytics tell you is doing well. Analytics will give you this information. For me, the new Duff, and I don't mind revealing this to you guys. I'm just going to be frank with you guys because I want you guys to also learn about your business through this experience. For the new Duff, anytime the new Duff has an achievement or a win for the Bahamas, we get incredible traffic, right? So Bahamians are a very proud people, and we are very proud of each other when we are doing something to move and or spotlight the Bahamian excellence in the Bahamas. You know what I mean? The new Duff's mission is to be the #1 provider of fresh and frozen Duff globally. I want to get everybody to know about what my grandmother used to make at my kitchen table when I was 12-year-old. So whenever we post content that highlights the Bahamian experience, straining the guavas, picking them, working in the kitchen, steaming them, pillowcases, all of these things, talking about that nostalgia, we always get a great return on investment, and which is, basically zero when it comes to the marketing spend. But prioritize that kind of content, okay? Then you simply tweak and repeat, okay? That is the strategy of finding your G-spot when it comes to digital marketing. If it's LinkedIn that's getting you the leads, if it's Twitter, if that's getting you the most comments, focus. You just go where the heat is and keep on doing more of it. You can really reskin what you've done before and then put it out in a new clothing, and people will eat that up because that's what's working for your brand. Let's jump to questions. And so, and we do have a few more slides to go, but I just want to hear from you guys. Can I get another 2 participants or even 1 participant to take off their mic and tell me about the analytics, specifically some of the trends that you saw in analytics for your business? Just raise your hand and I'll give you a shout so we can know, okay, Ron, if you can help me with this.
And we're gonna go with, I see Kimani Dean hand is up. So we're gonna go with Kimani Dean. Oh, I think he went. So we're gonna go with Junior Lewis Jean because I think he said Kimani did the way. So Mr. Jean, you're gonna allow you to speak, okay?
Okay, so we just keep on moving?
Good day, could you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to share some of my trends that I noticed on my Facebook account.
All right, we can't hear you that well. Can you speak up a little for us?
Okay, what about now? Could you hear me a little better now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I noticed with my link, was that like it depends on the time of the day. I noticed that, let's say for example, like around when I first posted, I posted like in the evening, and nobody really was interacting with it. But it's like later on, like in the afternoon or the next day, more people started to interact with it. But that's something I realized. So I feel like, when you post your content is very important as well. Okay, that's all.
Okay, Mr. Delaney, want to select another one?
Time of day is really important. I'm glad you shared that. Can you tell us the name of your business one more time, please? You're on mute if you're speaking.
Okay, I think he stopped.
Okay. No worries. Let's continue because I will open up to Q&A at the end. But I really like that point that you brought up just now, which is time of day. The time of day that you post is really critical, and I imagine it's different for different businesses too. I haven't really been able to land this one myself inside at the New Duff, but I'd like to hear from other people if the time of day really helps you. You can post it in the chat so we can read about it for you. Content marketing is basically ensuring that the type of content that you're pushing out there is reaching your target audience, right? And this is where I would say investing some dollars is really critical to your business. The more polished, the more international, the more trendy that your content can be, the more that it's going to reach the consumers and or be shared or reshared. A lot of times for reasons that you don't even understand. So there are tons of people in the Bahamas who claim to be social marketing geniuses or agents, right? And I would be very wary of some of that, because what I would really want you to think about is analytics again. Like, if you're ever hiring somebody who is saying that they can do this, they can do that, my first question is always to these what do you call these persons? These not consultants, but freelancers is, hey, show me what you've done in the past. What have you gotten before? They have a recipe, and if they've done really well, they're going to help your business do well also. Reach out to persons who you see have great content. Ask them for recommendations. High quality content is going to be king, right? You need to ensure that you are able to produce that. And so let's get, again, now let me go through let's go through one video by the New Duff here, sorry. And then I'm going to ask you guys to text in the group. Basically, this is one of the most recent reels that we've created. And let me know from you guys, what do you think is relevant? Is it engaging? Is it valuable or actionable? Am I doing any of those things in this content? And also send me some recommendations or improvement for having this reach a larger audience. So I'm just going to switch to it now. Let's watch it for a few seconds, and we can talk about it in the chat. What's up, everybody? My name is Kendrick. I'm the creator and the owner of the New Duff right here in Nassau at Paradise Island. I started the New Duff really to help my mom pay some medical bills, and it's like getting my life going. Now we have 13 employees. We're working with people all across the island with our product, and we're now in food stores, so you can actually have Duff from the freezer straight to your kitchen table. The process of making a Duff is really simple. You get some dough, you add guava filling on top of it, and then you pinch that, almost feeding it a drop it in a steaming basket, and then in 7 minutes you have a good guava Duff. I hope that people take away from the New Duff is that the Bahamas has a rich history, and Duff is so important to us. It's truly the most iconic dessert in the Bahamas. Come down and try it. All right, I'm gonna sift through the comments, but I would like to, for you guys, if you can, any feedback do you think? Was it relevant? Was it engaging? Was it valuable? Did it offer you anything valuable or new? Did you learn something? Any action or call to action there? What did you take away from the call? I mean the video, sorry, the reel. Where is this? So I'm looking in the comments here. It was straightforward, looks real Chinese for real. Weekends are iffy as persons tend to use weekends for runs. It was a teaser. The story in the beginning showed personality. The purpose behind why you got into it came through. So this is called a brand story, guys. It might look as if that the new Duff is kind of just pushing out content too, or when you see all these reels that we bump into, a lot of people don't understand the recipe behind it. But telling your brand story is so critical. A brand story, and if you guys want to learn about this, as I mentioned, I do private consulting for this. A brand story is what makes people fall in love with your business. It has to also be true. It cannot be made up. It could be a myth or a folklore, but it still has to be something that is passionate and it caused you to start the business. Very authentic. It was a short video. Some people mentioned it was catchy, emotional backstory, great video, engaging, so on and so forth. So I just wanted to, I want you guys to post content as well. And if you do want to post a reel in the group chat, please do so right now so we can also learn about your content. I am a big fan of paying it forward, so I would love for everybody on this call to keep on scrolling back through and liking and following your peers. It is so helpful, right? Like, how many times have you guys seen a caption that says like and share, like and share? That's what they need you to do. Like, I want to convert each one of you guys to like and share people because it is critical to getting small businesses out there. Like, one like gets it out to 10 more people, one comment gets it to 100, a share gets it to 1,000. That's how the algorithm works. Okay, so think about that. Every time you hit that like button, comment, share, even if you say nice stuff, it's really going to make a big difference. So Gennaro, Tennessee, Enrico, keep on pushing, guys. We really appreciate you sharing this information on your page with us today. I'm not going to spend too much time because we're reaching the last.
My name is Kendrick.
We're reaching the last bit of this thing, so I'm going to actually. We talked about analytics, right? And we also talked about some of the key metrics, but I wanted to really basically thank you all for joining this digital marketing and analytics masterclass. The link in the box here is my webpage. Just type in thenewduff.com/consultant and you'll learn a lot about the other workshops that I do. My particular focus is the same recipe that I've worked on, which is I try to figure out what does my brand need to be famous for, and I only focus on activities that are going to bring me real cash, like real money. Doing a lot is great, but when you're a startup or a small business, you really have to be a surgeon. You need to focus on a specific problem, solve that so that it helps everything else double over. Most people know this about the New Duff, but I'll also say this to you guys. I started, as I mentioned in my reel, I moved back from Singapore to the Bahamas because of medical issues for my mom. And every Saturday I would go to the farmer's market and sell Duff from Gladstone Road just to help earn money for medical bills. The great thing about that was I met customers, they talked to me, even though this was a new product. They also told me about their grandmothers. I had people cry and tell me like, this stuff tastes so much. It reminds me of their grandmother's kitchen table. And I took every one of those opportunities to hone in my business, tell my story, post and craft my business around it. So today I am incredibly proud to represent just be another person in the line of Guava Duff's evolution. You know, from a British sailor pudding that came across the ocean to what it is today and what we hope it to be many, many, many years in the future. So what do you want your business to be paid for? I'm here to help. I would love to help you guys with brand stories. And more importantly, I want everybody on this call to become now an evangelist for somebody else's brand. Just keep on sharing it, keep on liking it. It helps to transform another person's business. I'm stopping my share now, and I'm going to ask if there are any questions, and maybe SBDC, if you can help to kind of like go through some of these questions together.
Okay, sure. Awesome. So this segment, I will ask everybody to put their questions in the Q&A box. So I'll be able to get everybody in there. So I see there's some questions in here already. And we're going to start with Mr. Robert Grant. He asks how long you have started your Duff business, or how long has it been going on?
So I started in February 2018, the same day that I started working at Alive as the head of digital architecture. I do have a culinary degree. I know it's a little weird combo, but I went on to do a master's degree and, you know, travel and live in other places in the world. International trade was my background, but I was doing this on the weekends, right? So I was making Duff after work, getting up every Saturday morning, making Duff. Year two, I built a bicycle cart, which a lot of people know me by or recognize me by. And I pedaled that around the island for a year, 2 years. I still have that bicycle cart. Food trailer the 3rd year, store in the 4th year. And now we have all 4 of those assets running all day. We have a thriving wholesale business. Our Duff can go from freezer to microwave in 1 minute. So a lot of restaurants in the Family Islands, a lot of the hotels and restaurants here in Nassau are using our products. It has not been an easy journey. Of course, I have left Alive. In that journey, after 4 years, I was able to work as a CEO for the New Duff full time. I will say the New Duff is the hardest thing I've ever done. And I know all of the entrepreneurs on this call, I know exactly what you're going through. If there's anybody who knows what that experience is like, it's me. But everybody showing up to this call today is telling me that you're on the same path. None of us are an island, so let's work together to create it.
All right, awesome. Next question we have from Alan C. Johnson. Can you explain the benefits of personal profiles compared to business pages and the impact they can have individually or collectively in promoting products or services? And another one is, it's 2-part, is what are the advantages of one over the other?
So personal versus business profiles. I think it's really important to determine that based on your brand, right? So your business. If your business is your name, for example, if you're a motivational speaker, if you are a lawyer, if you are a real estate agent, your name and your business kind of are meshed together. All right. If that is the unique selling point of your business. So a personal profile could be helpful in that case. However, if it's not your unique selling point, if your business unique selling point, right? And I'm just looking through some of these persons on the call, right? If your business is, I heard the guy earlier say jewelry, and it's women's jewelry, it's not something you particularly wear, having that on your personal profile is not helping your business to grow, right? Actually managing your personal profile and how people see you is also critical. So I want to make sure that I'm answering this correctly, but a business profile is super important to developing its unique point of view in the market. I always tell people, you don't follow people who are about everything. You want that person who's a little bit, or that business that is very specific to what they do. So if they are about pie crust, they are into pie crust. If they are into baseball, they are talking about all the details about baseball. You got to have a really unique point of view. And I don't think co-mingling your personal and your professional helps, unless, of course, the business is centered around you and your identity. Could you remind me the second part of the question?
The second part is, what are the advantages of one over the other?
Yeah, so that's basically the personal ones, like even like a business profile. I'll tell you one thing, like the New Duff, here's a gap. Let's take it off of social media and let's go to emails. Whenever I see an email that says business name at gmail.com versus Kendrick at thenewduff.com, that automatically tells your reader, the person receiving this, the type of business you're dealing with, right? Doesn't it? So for example, up until the first 3 years of the New Duff, I always conducted business under kendrickdelaney@gmail.com. In the 3rd year, after I got persons asking me about investments and franchising, people wanting to export overseas and different places, I realized very quickly that using my @gmail.com email wasn't a good look for my business. We get at the New Duff, I would say conservatively, at least 1,000 emails a week. And so now all of my staff has, they allowed to choose a fruit as their handle. So my email address is guava@thenewduff.com. We have mango@thenewduff.com, we have coconut, we have pineapple. Everybody gets to choose their name. This ties my staff into the brand story. It makes it for a fun and enjoyable experience. And what I love most about it is it helps customers see you as a big, beautiful brand when you're really actually, like me, a very small, scrappy business trying to hustle through it. And I shouldn't say I'm small anymore, but I still I'm not into medium size or a large business as yet. So think about these things. And I love that question about personal versus global. Perception is reality. So act big. They don't need to know how the sausage is made, but act big in the front end, especially when it comes to digital marketing. Any more questions? I can take 2 more questions.
Okay. This one is a lot of people are asking about recommendations of outsourcing digital marketing, and yes, that's the most
Yeah.
asking questions, recommendation for outsourcing digital marketing.
Perfect question. I can tell you guys that I've gone through a million different digital marketing freelancers. I've worked with people in the middle of the night in Indonesia to make content for my website or for my pages. You know, being a chef, being a CEO, being an accountant, being payroll, being HR for your business, it's really difficult to kind of also post for your business. So personally, I can't recommend any one business for this, but I can tell you along my journey, some of the people who've helped a lot. So Tropic Buzz has been really helpful in helping me to kind of create content that wins. And you know, some of my hot cross buns videos and things that really created a whole new niche in the market for my business started in those places. Partnerships, or I would say dropping off a bunch of duff to the news outlets, to the Tribune, to the Guardian, to Eyewitness, to Cable Bahamas really does help people to push and promote your business for you. But I do most of the content for my website, for my social myself, or I work together with a videographer to make sure it is the storyline that I want to push out in the market. It does take a little bit of work. But I'm sure SBDC can help you relate to other persons. I see another question from Quentin is asking do you have any sampler products, or where can I get a taste of them? Every day, the New Duff offers free samples to tourists and locals alike, so feel free to stop in and get a sample. By the way, the New Duff is a fully fledged restaurant. We take guava duff dough and we bake it into cinnamon rolls, French toast. We have stuffed jerk chicken buns, curry mutton buns. We have cinnamon rolls, we have egg and cheese sandwiches. I think we have the best breakfast in the Bahamas. We are the #1 rated restaurant on Google. That is part of my digital strategy from 3 years ago to become this, so it doesn't happen overnight. But you're welcome to go and look at these things on Google. You can go and look at Tinfurl, for example, another one of my businesses, and see how we're really focusing on digital marketing as opposed to traditional spending to kind of create the business that we want. If you want to get your tire repaired in the Bahamas right now, I am willing to bet you're going to Google and say tire repair near me. That tells you that every business in the Bahamas needs to have their pin drop, have the best customer reviews, manage. You remember that slide where I talked about little control to lots of control? You could manage your business profile on Google for free. Ask customers, ask friends, ask family, go to church, tell people, leave a review for your business. It's going to transform the way that you do business, okay? Everybody, I want to thank you guys so much. If you have any more questions, please reach out to me. If you'd like to collaborate with the New Duff, if you'd like to be a franchisee, if you'd like us to ship to you in a different island, guava@thenewduff.com. Reach out to me. Let's take Guava Duff to the world. Let's take your business to the world. Thank you, guys.
What an awesome presentation, Mr. Delaney. We'd like to thank you so much on behalf of our management team, our director, our deputy director, to Miss Felice Battle and Samantha Roll. I think Miss Battle is on the call tonight. We'd just like to say thank you so much for giving us that information that we need as upcoming businessmen in the Bahamas. I believe that they have gotten what they need to be inspired. And this is what we're all about, empowering young and even beyond age entrepreneurs to be able to expand and grow themselves and their businesses. So we thank you so much for partaking, and this presentation was very great. And to all of you, once again, my name is Joel Pickstock. Thank you for coming on. If you have any further questions, you could definitely contact our office at 461-7234 or 461-7233, or you can email us at the help desk at sbdcbahamas.com, and we'll be sure to render further assistance.
One
Once
more
again,
thing, one
oh,
more
go
thing
ahead.
before everybody leaves too. If you did enjoy this, SBDC wants to hear from you. Just can you drop a note? I'd really appreciate it for my own personal consulting business. Just let them know you had a great time. It would be a true testament to the work that I put in here, and I really appreciate it from everybody else. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you, thank you. Awesome. If you really enjoy, listen, it has been, I think we're in our 3rd week of training now. If you really enjoy what you are being fed, let me see you guys put them thumbs up and spam up the chat how appreciative you are of the information that you have been giving to better you and empower you as men to grow. And we thank you all. We all know it's not an easy process, right? But this training here is to help you. And so we thank you for working. We thank you for joining in and tuning in every month, every Tuesday and Thursday. So we thank you all. We love the responses. We love the responses. Thank you guys so much. We work hard day and even night to ensure that SBDC is impacting not just businesses, but impacting the world to know that you can develop and jumpstart your business. It doesn't require much. All you have to do is have the idea, the dream, and the passion, and it takes you there. So once again, thank you all so much for joining in tonight. On behalf of SBDC, thank you, Mr. Delaney. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful evening.